What is up, guys? Back in today with another reaction to another, this time with episode 7. Looking forward to this one. I had a bit of a crazy end to last episode. I think the guy, I'm not sure if he's a student or a teacher, to be honest with you. I think he might be a teacher, but I'm not actually sure. He's a very mature student if he is one, so yeah, apologies. I think we obviously have the woman teacher, and I think that's the homeroom teacher, but again, I guess we'll find out. It looks like he's gonna off himself at the start of this one, so yeah, that should be pretty traumatic for all of these students right here. I'm not sure how you could deny people's existence when you've got stuff like that happening right in front of you. On that point, we had a really interesting kind of segment covering the registry and previous students and how it kind of works with the names of students all kind of being in the class, but at the end of the year, the anomaly, the extra, the imposter will rightfully be kind of it'll kind of dissolve the name, or put the name back. I can't remember, but it doesn't make it just so you can go back to previous years and find out, oh, this name that's in our class this year was also in the class 10 years ago, so match them up. No, that doesn't work like that. It's not that easy, which is a bit contentious for me. I feel like that's a bit too kind of plot point, as a plot point that's a little bit too kind of good for this curse, if you know what I'm saying. Like, it needs to happen. You can't just make the mystery that easy, but also it's like I feel a bit iffy about it. I don't know. Do let me know what you guys think about this one though down in the comment section. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you guys do like, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date. It just feels like a bit complex for a curse to be doing that, if you know what I'm saying. Like, this curse kills people, and so like it does. We normally think about a curse, and then on top of what it normally does as a curse, it kind of also hides the mystery, which you expect it to do, but I don't know. Again, I'm not really sure what to think about it. Like I said, in a for the plot, it's good. As a kind of act by the curse or whatever, I'm not. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. Because it's a bit too involved. I'm not really sure how to explain it, but yeah. Definitely get quite a good look at how things are actually kind of functioning now, though. And yeah, I'll tell you what, all of the preconceived notions I had at the start of the series have pretty much been kind of proven wrong. Which is the real one? It's quite interesting lyric, that, isn't it? Considering we're actually trying to find the imposter, the dead. What's he doing? Who's he swiping at there? Ugh. Damn. Oh, look at those bubbles coming from his nose. I like that little detail. I mentioned this in a couple of my videos before. Jesus Christ. Again, how traumatic is this? This whole class is traumatic and stuff in general, but yeah, I've told a story a few times on my channel about when I was a kid. I remember drinking some Dr. Pepper or Coke, and I ended up laughing, and it really went down the wrong hole. It went up my nose, and I laughed, and I snorted, and so much Dr. Pepper came out of my nose, and that was one of the worst feelings I've ever had in my life. It felt all horrible in my nose for hours afterwards. Yeah, it was just horrible. The worst things I've ever been through. Doesn't sound like it'd be that bad, but having like a freshly opened fizzy drink come out your nose like that. Well, I don't know if you can say that. Was it the curse that killed him? I mean, he was swinging at something, so maybe it was. I hate how they're looking at us like it's our fault. It's like they look at us with shame. But was that the curse? I mean, he offered himself. Like, he'd done that to himself. Everybody else we've seen so far has had an unfortunate circumstance happen to them in the nature of that final destination. Whereas this guy just couldn't take it, it looks like. So yeah, he was the teacher. And he kind of half looked like a student. Killed her as... Oh, God. Man, that's a nasty dead body. Yeah, is this anything to do with the curse? Ah, it's understandable, is it not? Do they think? Really? I wouldn't think that. I wouldn't think that at all. I could totally understand how a person could be driven to this. To be fair, I'm not sure about the fact that he'd done it in front of all the kids. That's a bit like, yeah, crazy. She's been finally recognised by someone other than Koichi. To die. How? I don't get it. It's no one's fault. How is this anyone's fault? You can't be chucking fault and blame about in a situation like this. Again, I do like this girl. She's taken her job like really seriously, and she does the best she can. I actually really like her. I can understand why people might not throughout the series, but as much as you understand, she's always doing it what's best for everybody in the class. So, got to appreciate that. Well, the most suspicious on that front is Koichi, right? Considering the phone call we heard last episode. Surely there's ways to like get everybody in the class together. Again, I'm still not sure what good it would do finding this person, but surely that you can get everyone in the class together to like go through details about them and their life and touch their cold hands and whatever and like figure it out that way. Like, fuck doing classwork. You got to figure this thing out. maybe they said that two people died by accident. Maybe the extra, the imposter got killed. I feel like maybe there was a fight between the two people that died in that accident. They got into a fight and they killed each other, and one of them was the imposter, and the other person found out that that was the imposter, perhaps. There's not too much you can extrapolate from that situation other than what I just mentioned, to be honest, is there? If it's not the shrine that helps. She's just ignoring that all of their existence at this point. Fucking, I can't try. Got to ignore one of these kids. I have to ignore them all. She's really seems to be trying her hardest as well, though, this teacher, as much as we haven't seen a lot of her at all. Melty. I wouldn't be too surprised at that. Lovely. Again, reminds me of that scene from Hasselwax. The guy gets his cheek cut off. Really good scene. To be honest, if you guys don't want to watch that movie, I wouldn't. I don't think I'd recommend it. To be honest, it's all right. Kind of mid 2000s kind of slop. You can just check out that one scene, and that's the best part of the movie. Where a waxed up guy gets his cheek cut off. It's like, got my cheek. Can't do anything about it, obviously. Also, I'm not sure how I feel about the phone situation. Like the curse kind of messing with the phone seemingly and like cutting it out. That's an issue I've had with a few horror movies. There's loads of horror movies that have phone issues, whether it be no signal, the car engine. That's another one. Obviously, it's nothing to do with phones, but like the car engine randomly kind of not working. I'm not sure how I feel about this curse or whatever having an effect on phone signals. That thing. I don't feel like it should be. Myself, again, I've seen this happen a few times in Japanese horror at that. But that's the annoying thing. Like phones and guns, in my opinion, they're two kind of boringish things that horror movies have to deal with. Like you have to, especially in that today's day and age, unless you have a movie that takes place in like the 80s or the 70s or something. You have to address the issue, especially in like slashers and such, of having a phone, and you can come up with some creative stuff, but I feel like having the entity, the curse, cut out the phone signals and such is just kind of bullshit, in my opinion. I feel like it's not like an online curse. It's not like a curse that's based on like phone signals and transferring through phone. I could understand if it was like, if any of you guys remember in like the 2000s where people would send each other emails, and those emails would like it was like, I can't remember what they were called, but you have to like pass the email on to not be cursed or something. Like you get an email saying, "Oh, you're cursed. Send this to 10 other people on your friends list to remove the curse. Otherwise, you'll die within however many days," and stuff like that. That used to be like quite a popular thing back then. And it's not anything to like do with that. So I just kind of like it has no. It's the same. It's kind of it's same kind of thing I think about the registry. It's like the registry is more understandable because that's like a physical thing. But when it gets involved in like the phone stuff, it just yeah takes me out of it a little bit. Not a big fan of that. At this point, though, especially after that scene there, I almost feel like it's less likely now that it's Koichi is the dead person. I don't know. He's still got, from what we know, which isn't much about a lot of these kids. From what we know, he's definitely the most suspect. But I feel like that scene there was almost like it made it a bit too obvious. I don't know. I can also understand if the signal's just shitty here because they are in the country. But we have heard like perfectly crisp phone calls. So. And like when we're talking normally, the signal's like fine, but when we ever get into anything talking about the whole curse and stuff, it gets all fuzzy. It's like why? Is it to show how close they are to death? That they're so close to the realm. The realm is actually messing up with the human realm that we're in. I don't know. I feel like it's something that won't ever be explained. They rarely do explain stuff like that. Kind of normal horror trope. Tell you what, I rewatched last night. Invisible Man. I love that movie. The not the original, the remake. Genius movie. Not too much in the plot, but in the directing, I think it's genius. Which one's Yuya? Extra fancy. So I like coffee cake. I don't like coffee though. I don't drink coffee or tea or anything. It's quite sacrilegious for an English person. But I always feel like if I always get a bad stomach, what one. Two is like I don't want to be like addicted to it and rely on it like seemingly a lot of people. And it's not great for you either. I'll just stick with my water. That's what I said. If you died in the womb with her. But the question would be, he wasn't in the class from the get-go. I mean, I guess we still don't know the absolute rules. But he would. But he, like, how could the Kurt, like, what if? I don't know. When you start getting into this stuff, it's like destiny. Like, was he always destined to join this class? Like, what would have happened if he never did join this class? And he is the dead person. There wouldn't be a curse. I don't think like it wouldn't be how every other year's been, where there's always like he is the first transfer student. I think that was mentioned. He's the only ever transfer student in one of these cursed classes. So if he never did join the class, and he's the dead person, there wouldn't be a dead person. There'd be no curse, and that would kind of break the streak. Would things be fully over from that? But then you think about if he is the dead person, like it would have to be destiny. He would always have meant to join this class. He was always meant to come back. But I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it shouldn't be him because there needs to be someone like guaranteed. Again, we still don't know the rules, but I feel like it needs to be someone like guaranteed to be there at the start of the year to be in the class, so there will for sure be this kind of cursed dead person in the class. So I feel like that almost makes him safe. But again, we've had a few questionable things, so who knows? Maybe that's what she's thought of as well. It's like, yeah, the person who's dead actually needs to be a kind of member right from the start. Otherwise, if they don't ignore someone, that's the thing. If they didn't ignore anyone from the start, that we could have found that out really quick. But obviously, their priority was saving people's lives, so they didn't want to do that. But that would have been quite handy for us as the viewers. We would have known for sure it wasn't Koichi. But like I said, it's not worth risking people's lives over. She likes a handshake, this girl, doesn't she? You did. You shook it on at the hospital. Oh shit! Maybe it's her, and maybe that's his mum. Yeah, I doubt it's true. It's way too easy. So yeah, like I said, maybe that's his mum right there. I mean, they don't look at all alike or anything, but like the way she said she remembers his hand. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's just a kind of trick sentence, but like sorry to pause again, but like it depends. Like we're not sure 100% of his mother's death circumstances, but she died giving birth to him. Maybe she did get to hold him for a minute or two before she did pass away, perhaps. Obviously, she would have a massively deep connection with a creature that came from her. I say creature like he's not a human, but he could not be human. That's the thing, which kind of makes that okay to say. But yeah, the kind of baby that came out of her, it makes sense that she had a deep connection with and a memorable connection with, even if it is just for like an instant before she did die. So again, maybe that could be his mother right there. That's a possibility. I feel like we're getting quite a lot more. Obviously, we're still getting questions answered a little bit, but now we're bringing up some more questions, especially in regards to the imposter. So what? I think this anime is massively popular, and it was really popular when it came out. I wasn't watching anime at that point, but I feel like if this came out today, with like, or if this came out around the time Among Us came out, I feel like it would also have been a massive hit. Okay, Matsunaga. That's usually isn't that the name of like a legendary like warrior from Japan or something? That was so vague. It's amazing, isn't it? You'd think that'd be a super memorable thing. We've had that a few times this season as well. People having these super. I've never. Sorry to pause again, but I've never really had a majorly traumatic experience, like majorly traumatic. But obviously, you get people with PTSD and such, and it's so traumatic that they can't really escape it. I feel like this would be a situation where, especially with such a big breakthrough like saving everyone, you'd surely remember that, right? We've had that a couple of times this season. Again, maybe it's the influence of the curse, who knows? But I feel like a few times this season we've had people, oh yeah, it's a massively important detail, but I just can't seem to remember it. Again, it seems a bit convenient for the plot, but like I said, it might very well be that might be normal. Like I said, I don't personally have any. I mean, everything that I have found kind of traumatic. Again, I've never really been through anything kind of trauma wise, but in terms of like social trauma, in terms of being like embarrassed or denied or stuff like that, I feel like that always really sticks out in my head. Like it's a very memorable moment. And I feel like when deaths and curses are involved, it would probably be even more memorable. But like I said, I've never experienced anything truly kind of horrific like that. There was, I don't think this is, maybe it's weird because to me it doesn't seem truly horrific, but I did once have an accident with a biker. I think this was when I was like really young, like maybe like 8 or 9. I was in the back of my parents' car. The whole family was there, and a biker came around a corner and we hit him, and I think he ended up dying. I vividly remember just a kind of pool of blood from where I got out of the car. There was just like a pool of blood under where I kind of stepped out. I never saw the bike or anything, but I vividly remember the image of the pile of blood on the kind of concrete, and yeah, it wasn't majorly traumatic to me. I think it affected my sister quite a bit, but it didn't really affect me too much, honestly. Maybe that's why I'm such a big fan of horror nowadays. But yeah, I don't remember too much from my early life, and I really remember that. So it's like stuff like that should really stick out, right? Maybe not for everyone. I don't know. It was the biker's fault in that accident. Um, yeah, didn't really think about it a lot, to be honest. Remember that scene. Say it's like some movie, but I remember that kind of, yeah, that very vividly. That's sad to hear. Stay gone. You'll be safe out there. A number. Good job, Koichi. Dewa Bango. Oh, that is something I think that this girl, like, if I never knew anything about me, if I just saw her design, that is definitely something that I think would come out of her mouth. I don't think it has. How do you know that for sure? How can she tell that for sure? Unless, again, it's something based. She knows something that goes with what I said earlier about him being the transfer student, so it's very unlikely to be him. That's the thing. I think it is. On that basis, I do think it is very unlikely to be him. But we've got no one else stands out as much as him as well. Like nothing that we know about any of the other characters, which is not a lot, admittedly, stands out as much as a few dodgy moments learning about him and his kind of past. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Good episode here. Didn't cover a whole lot, to be honest with you, did we? We went through a few like little details and such, but it was quite an ambiguous episode, wasn't it? Kind of more possibilities. We've had a lot of answers in the last few episodes, so this one can again put up a few more kind of possibilities and yeah, stuff like that. Let's just skip to the preview. Oh, so it looks like we're on the school trip. I mean, I don't want to sound like a proper downer, but would people be having fun like this? In a situation where your classmates are dying around you, someone literally killed himself this episode. I don't know. I feel like kids can have fun in dark situations. Like I said, I experienced something relatively dark that people might have got affected by more than me, and I just kind of acted quite normal afterwards. I always think about it a lot as well because I remember my parents. My sister had like a claim for like some trauma or something go through, and she got a lot of money. And I just couldn't lie about it. Honestly, my parents told me to like pretend and said I had like nightmares and stuff, but I just didn't. Maybe my parents might have thought it was weird. I don't know, but yeah, obviously, I could have got some money out of that situation, and I just didn't because yeah, couldn't really lie about it, especially as a kid. I was quite an honest kid. I was very shy and honest. And then as a teenager, I did get to be a delinquent, quite a horrible person, to be honest with you guys. And then end up coming back around to being honest and and quite isolated and introverted, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like I said, not any kind of massive discoveries or anything today. It seems that the head of countermeasures, as well as May, have already kind of ruled him out being the imposter, which again I think on a statistics kind of scale, if you were to rank everybody, he definitely would be lower down the ranks of who you'd think it would be. But as a viewer, again, he definitely is one of the most suspicious. I think the woman server was this guy's sister. I think that's the guy that has a relationship with the waiter. So I imagine now we've seen his sister, something will probably happen to her. Is exactly what I thought when she appeared on screen. But yeah, they seem to have written off Koichi, which is good because that definitely helps us get a lot more information out of the class. Obviously, the class was ignoring us this whole time, so that really kind of didn't help at all with getting information on people's thoughts towards the curse and such. And there's again a few things I don't like, like this Matsunaga, for example, missing out massive parts of like is there a reason why I can't say it? But yeah, a few characters, including this Matsunaga guy, kind of missing out major details in their stories, like things that you'd expect to be at the kind of forefront of your mind after such a traumatic experience. Then again, is it much of a traumatic experience? As we see in the preview, everybody seems to be having an absolute blast at the fucking beach. So maybe it's not all too traumatic for these guys. But yeah, do let me know what you guys thought in the comments. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you guys would like, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date. And I'll see you guys next time with episode 8.